Hey Bookaholics, welcome to... Now I'm ready. Hey Bookaholics, welcome to another video. Today I'm doing my December wrap-up. Okay, so the first one I actually read when it first came out in 2015, but I felt like reading it again because I've been reading the Harry Potter books, and I just felt like reading it, and I ended up getting the audiobook and reading it that way instead. But I do have the physical copy of it as well when I first bought it, but that one was Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. So Carry On is pretty much a expansion of Rainbow Rowell Fangirl, the Carry On fan fiction that the main character Catherine was writing. And this one is just the finished copy of that fan fiction that was in Fangirl. So I got this when it first came out and I absolutely loved it. And I hadn't read any Harry Potter books yet, so it was nice going into this world and seeing a different kind of magic, and I really enjoyed this one, and I really enjoyed reading it again as the audiobook because I just loved it. And I know that it's like Simon and Baz, which is like Harry Potter and Draco. I really do love Simon and Baz, so I really enjoyed this book, and I really enjoyed reading it again as an audiobook. So my next book I read in December was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Now I've been reading the Harry Potter series, so this could not come as a surprise that I read this in December. I really did enjoy this book as well. It was just a really nice read. Getting more information again, a lot more information from this. One thing I actually didn't really like, but I understand why it happened, but at the same time just like, that's not a good message. But it was when Draco hexes Hermione and her teeth grow, and then when she gets it fixed, she has it so her teeth aren't so big, and then it's like she's so pretty, and it's like, it's not exactly like that because it wasn't like, she's so pretty, I want her. It wasn't quite like that, but there was still that aspect of it, and I didn't like that because no matter what your flaws are, you're still beautiful. I just didn't really care for that, but I understand because people always have things that they don't like, and if they had a chance to change it, they would, which Marnie does. But that was just one thing I didn't really care for in this book. But other than that, it was great. I loved it. I really did enjoy the Moody character just because I knew that he was someone else. And it was just a lot of fun, and I really did enjoy this book a lot. The next book I read in December will come as no surprise, but that one is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This one actually turned into my absolute favorite Harry Potter book. It was the longest, exactly 800 pages in this copy. I really enjoyed this book. I seen on reviews that people didn't really care for Harry Potter in this one just because he was like whiny and moody and all this kind of stuff, but I really actually did enjoy it because there was such a psychology to it, and like the character development in this book was amazing, and I absolutely hated Professor Umbridge. There was just so much in this one. There's so much going on, and it broke my heart at the end. It broke it. It's my favorite. It made me feel so many things, and I felt so bad for Harry at times, and I really loved how he was getting so angry, and like they didn't know what was going on because he had a connection to Voldemort, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed this one, and I actually watched the movie right after reading this one, and I knew it wasn't gonna do it justice because, well, I watched the movie before and I actually liked the movie, and I still like the movie, don't get me wrong, but after reading this, there's just so much that was missing. I was disappointed because there's so much missing, and I just love this book so much, and I wanted it all in the movie, but I knew it wouldn't be because, again, 800 pages. But this one was definitely my favorite Harry Potter book. Next one was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now, before reading this one, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was probably not my least favorite movie, but one of the lower ones. But after reading this and then watching the movie, I actually love it more, like so much more. I love that movie just because I understand things now. When I was watching the movie before, like I understood, but I didn't quite understand. And then I read the book and then I watched the movie. I was like, I understand now. It's so good. And it's just, I'm getting a little crazy there, but this one I actually really enjoyed just because, I don't know, I love the obsessiveness of Harry over Draco, and I loved him finding the potions book of the Half-Blood Prince, and then all the Harry Potter and Dumbledore classes, and I just loved the background of Tom Riddle and Voldemort. Oh my god, it was just so great, and it's just made me love the movie so much more, which makes me just happy, and the movie has gone up in my books, which is always good. So yeah, I really enjoy this book, and I just okay, enough. Now, last book I read this month, no surprise again, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Now this one I did also really like too. I knew it was going to be the ending. I knew there was because some emotion, and there was emotion, and I knew it was going to happen, but it was so great to read it in the actual book rather than just watching it, and it was just, oh my god, I really enjoy this one. Finally, we get some Ron and Hermione. I love it. And one thing I actually realized, because like even in the movies I wasn't all that big of a Harry and Ginny, and even the books I'm not that much inclined to it. Like, I don't know, I'm not like, I get it, but I wasn't convinced. I don't know, I just wasn't. But Hermione and Ron are just my favorite. They're my favorite in the movies, and they also are my favorite in this one, and I absolutely loved it. And what I really liked about this is that because the movie was made into part 1 and part 2, it was just mostly everything was in here. There's a few changes, but generally there was pretty much followed it very well. The fighting parts was definitely more intense in the book because there's just more, and it was just so good, and I just loved it. And like, oh my god, I loved when Harry learns about Snape, and I just love everything, and I just all the deaths, man, all the deaths, I knew they were happening, but I'm just like, no. And oh my god, Fred was so sad. It was so sad. Oh my god, that was one of the saddest ones. Fred was the saddest death in this book. It was just like, no, because Percy finally comes back to the family, and then Fred dies. Oh my god. But the movie was so good too. I really actually, because in this one I really liked when Snape was revealed, like how they learned that he was the good guy the whole time. But in the movie, I absolutely, like, I always loved it when it was like all revealed, and it was just like this big sequence, and it was just all put together so well. But watching it again after reading this book, I was just like blown away by how they were able to do that, like combining different things and all this stuff, and it's just like, it's so good, and I just loved it. And this was definitely, the 5th one is still my favorite, but this one is definitely my 2nd favorite of the whole series. It was just so good. Okay, so that was all the books I read in December. I'm so happy I finished the Harry Potter series, and I finished it before the end of the year, and I'm just like, yes! I have not been motivated to do that, and finally I just did it, and it feels so good. I finally know all that happened, and I will definitely be reading that series again. It was so good, and I just loved it. But okay, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a thumbs up. Comment down below all the books you guys read this December. Check out my other social media accounts, so my Facebook, Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram. I make a video every Thursday, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye!